Hey, good morning. Welcome in. Welcome back, everybody. It's Laura here. I'm a twin flame coach. I'm a twin flame guide, and I'm a twin flame astrologer and reader. And so today we're going to talk about two culminating transits. And the first one is between Sun in opposition to Neptune retrograde in Aries. And the second one is the Sun in a trine to Uranus retrograde. And so the Sun recently just ingressed into Libra. We did have the fall equinox portal yesterday, and we also did have Mars ingress into Scorpio. And so the energies were thick, to say the least, and we're kind of in the aftermath of the eclipse gateway portal that took place on Sunday. And so I'm going to break down both of these transits each separately. We're going to talk about these energies. We're going to go further with some cards and the messages with the oracle and the tarot. So stick around, hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, so we can be YouTube friends. And let's talk about the impact on the Twin Flame Collective today. All right, let's talk about the Sun in Libra in opposition to Neptune retrograde in Aries. And so this is happening at 0 degrees 45. There is a very prominent underlay of energies connected to the Five of Cups. We can see the Sun in Libra here sitting in the 12th house. And there is a Virgo undertone because the 12th house is in Virgo at 24 degrees 41. There is a Queen of Wands, Ace of Cups energy connected to the 12th house. We also see Mercury sitting there in the 12th house at 8 degrees 55. There is Strength and Ace of Swords along with this Five of Cups energy. And so it does take great strength to digest this truth that is being illuminated. And so the Sun here is illuminating a hidden aspect, and it could be connected to self. It could be connected to a karmic soul tie or just a subconscious pattern, because the 12th house is the house of the subconscious and the house of spirituality. And so because we've got this 12th house energy, the Sun is kind of like a flashlight, right? A shining flashlight here and shining a light into the darkness. And so whatever's been buried in that 12th house, whatever's been avoided, whatever's been denied, Libra is going to bring this to light. And this is connected to relationships because Libra is the sign of relationships. And there's balance here, there's projection here. And in the 12th house, there's going to be some type of reflection, I want to say, connected to hidden imbalances in relationships, or perhaps an unspoken truth, or there could be an illusion around harmony in a relationship. And with Neptune retrograde in opposition in the 6th house with that Pisces overlay, because the 6th house is in Pisces, there is an illusion connected to daily routines, health, work, and service. And Neptune retrograde is dissolving that illusion. And so what illusions have you been living by day to day? I think Neptune is kind of asking you to look at that. And the Aries energy connected to the Pisces undertone is pushing for this awakening. So there's no more escapism allowed, is kind of how this is at play today. And the opposition creates that tension with that Five of Cups archetypal energy where there's probably grief or disappointment. And when this energy arises, we oftentimes will go into masking it with almost like a Three of Cups energy, okay? And so something here is disillusioning in the energies with this transit. Something could come forward. There could be an old karmic tie presenting itself on your path, or there could be an issue with maybe a daily habit being presented, or even just a relationship pattern that's going to force a letting go of. And so the Five of Cups energy, I feel, is asking us not to look at just what's been lost, because usually there's 2 cups upright on a Five of Cups card in the background still standing. And so there is healing potential in this transit today, but only the truth can remain. And so I feel there's a gift here. There is a gift, but there's exposure of these karmic illusions in relationships today and how they affect our daily life, our habits, and our health. And so there very well could be a painful realization here surfacing. And we're going to have to clear the room. We're going to have to clear the board for that deeper truth and that healing. And so when it comes to the divine feminine, I kind of feel you're recognizing some type of hidden wound in the energies today, or subconscious projection in relationships, where maybe you have an old belief around what harmony should look like in a relationship, and all of that is kind of being unraveled and stripped away in these energies, showing you where maybe you've been avoiding a deeper truth. Divine masculine, I feel, with the Neptune retrograde in Aries, because Aries is the masculine archetype energy. This is a pressing energy connected to an illusion in the masculine's day-to-day life, whether it's a routine, a karmic tie, or a connection that is just no longer serving his soul's path and his mission. Aries energy is demanding action, but because of the retrograde, he first has to confront the escapism or the denial. And so I feel this insurmountable grief surfacing in the connection, in the energies today, the disappointment to the past, or karmic revelation. There's like a very stinging energy, especially with Mars recently ingressing into Scorpio, the scorpionic sting kind of energy. And so what actually looks like a loss oftentimes is making space for something truer, something more real, something more aligned. And so there's a lot of karmic illusions unraveling for both the masculine and the feminine in this transit today, and both are kind of being pushed to release that false harmony so we can step into deeper authenticity. So let me get the other chart up on the screen, and let's talk about the sun in a trine to Uranus retrograde. All right, now let's talk about the sun in Libra in a trine to Uranus retrograde in Gemini. And so we still have this 12th house underlay of energy, because we now have Uranus sitting in the 12th house. And so the sun is in Libra sitting in the 5th house. And so the 5th house adds themes of children, creative expression. It's the house of pleasure. It is the house of romance. And I want to say short-term romance. And so this is kind of where illusions play out connected to love and romance, where possibly somebody could be manipulating for attention or validation in the energies. And there, once again, is that Virgo undertone of energies, because we have the Libra energy sitting in the 5th house of Virgo. So we're still in that clearing connected to the Virgo Pisces axis, connected to the North and South node. And so the Virgo energy is turning something into practicality, is how this feels to me. The truth will reveal itself in the details. And so it's not just big sweeping feelings connected to that 5th house. And with Uranus retrograde in Gemini in the 12th house with that Taurus undertone, there's going to be a shaking loose of something, right? Because Uranus comes to shake things up. And when it comes to Taurus, Taurus is a very fixed energy, and it fixates on the material oftentimes, right? Because it's earthly energy. And so there's a shaking loose of a karmic tie connected to an ancestral pattern in the subconscious is what I see here, okay? And so with the retrograde energy, there's going to be like an inner shock, like a tower reversed kind of energy, or a realization connected to a sudden awakening. And with Gemini's influence, because Gemini is the messenger energy, this truth could come out in cutting words, a message, a slip of the tongue, or even just signs and synchronicities. And we think of a trine energy. It's actually a very harmonious flow of energy, but there is a prominent tarot archetype with this transit connected to the magician reversed and the sun reversed. And so trines usually flow. But I want to say, because Uranus is retrograde, this flow is going to reveal something that hasn't quite been clear. And with the magician reverse prominent, there's manipulation, there's misuse of power, there's misuse of words, there's false promises here, and there's deception. And the sun reverse, I feel, is hidden truths. There's a lack of clarity. There's almost like this undertone of like a mini dark night of the soul energy and disappointment, right? But there's something being brought to light once again with this transit. And so something hidden with the 12th house is going to come to light with the sun, especially connected to love, romance, children, or creativity, right? And so if somebody's been manipulating you, I feel the mask is going to slip today. And so I feel there's an unraveling of what's been hidden, especially connected to love and communication within the twin flame connection. And so divine feminine, I feel there's an illumination theme of love, pleasure, and your creative energy today. And if you have been deceived, if you have been manipulated, or even overgiving as a form of seeking validation, all of those illusions are going to be exposed for you today. And the Virgo undertone, I feel, is saying, watch the small details, okay? Pay attention to the small details, because the truth is going to come in the little tiny things today, okay? Divine masculine, I feel there's an activation, a shocking activation, or an inner revelation for you, where words or slipping of the tongue or synchronicities or dreams are going to suddenly expose what it is you've been hiding from yourself. Is kind of how I kind of see that transit today. We also see the shadow masculine energy sitting in the 12th house, along with the anti-vertex, which is the shadow work connected to soulmate connections. And so there is a judgment energy coming through for the masculine, connected to the devil card, connected to things being stuck due to illusions. And so this is the trine energy, where the masks fall, where the manipulation and the false promises are exposed, and anything that's hidden or anything that's not built on truth cannot survive in this energy, okay? And so once again, that stinging energy connected to Mars and Scorpio is coming through very loud. And so whatever is hidden within the masculine is going to come to light for the feminine. And so whether there was misused energy or I don't know, I just feel like there's going to be something spoken that's going to give way to a newfound truth. And so when it comes to both of these aspects today, they are both linked to the 12th house, and the 12th house is linked to karma. And so past life debts are being paid in the energies, I feel, with the aftermath of the eclipse today. The illusions, the hidden dynamics, everything is kind of surfacing for this release. The feminine, I feel, is clearly seeing through projections and illusions, and the masculine is waking up to the cost of the karmic cycle, where he's manipulated or he's avoided. And so there's grief, there's loss, there's illusions, there's karmic release, there's exposure. And this Virgo Pisces axis is connected to daily reality versus spiritual truth, because we're still dealing with that Virgo Pisces axis. And so we're in the massive karmic purge, I feel, connected to this journey. And the grief and the disappointment, it is surfacing for that final clearing of illusions. Whatever's kept the counterparts in these cycles of projection, that's all being released. And so whatever is being exposed, it's because it is connected to these karmic ties that are still causing blocks. And I feel truth is replacing these illusions. And so hold space, divine feminine, for any truth that is surfacing in the energies today. Hold space without clinging to the illusion of the masculine, and trust in the awakening, divine masculine, I want to say, because I think you're being shattered out of that comfort zone this week. Ultimately, the veil is lifting. That's what these transits are saying today. And whatever is revealed is necessary for the next part of the union journey. And so both of the twins are being asked, I want to say, to face the karmic illusions, especially connected to your daily life and the connection and love in general. And whatever is revealing is going to be stinging. It's going to hurt a little bit, okay? But we have to clear the path through the pain in order for that truth to be embodied, so we can step into authentic love. And so there's a massive spiritual alignment between the masculine and feminine in the energies today. So with that being said, let's go a little bit further with some oracle and some tarot messages. If you are new to the channel or new to astrology and you are curious about your birth chart and you'd like to learn a little bit more in order to follow along with the astrology portion of my readings, comment free guide down below. I do have a free downloadable PDF guide to understanding the basics of your birth chart. So if you're curious, just comment free guide down below and I will send you the link to download that free guide. Let's get these cards out and let's see what the cards have to say today. Okay, let's talk about these cards. I do have to say this card keeps coming out pretty consistently. Every time I pick this deck to use, the Breathe card comes out. So we're probably going to grab the book and read out of the book, because I do feel there is a deeper message that we need to dig into connected to that card. But let's break down these cards. Let's talk about it, because the first card out today was the Peace card, and it come flying out in reverse. And so this is telling me somebody is struggling. It is a 23 card, and so key 23 in the tarot is the King of Wands. And so this is telling me there is a prominent King of Wands reversed archetype coming through very loud that is lacking peace in their life. And so I do feel there has been so much resistance to love, so much resistance to the messages coming through with the divine, because we see the dove. And I do feel this is connected to love, because we see all these little itty bitty floating hearts around this egg. And so there is something here about to be birthed. But I do feel when it comes to human design, manifestors, actually human designs that are manifestors, their signature is peace. When they are aligned, their signature frequency is peace. But when they don't have peace in their lives, there's anger, which is their not self theme. And so I feel there is a King of Wands energy coming through in reverse, a divine masculine manifestor that is angry, that is really struggling to take that leap of faith, because the next card out was the Blessed card, and it is key 22. It is master number 22 connected to the Fool. Key 22 is connected to the Fool. And it's like Spirit is trying to carry this masculine forward into the next cycle. We have a master builder here. We have a divine masculine master builder coming through. And so the blessings come after the Tower. The blessings come when you take the leap of faith, when you come to the edge and you lay down the burdens of the past. And so there is a heavy, heavy burden here that a divine masculine has been carrying. And I feel they have to look this anger, this sacred rage right in the face, and they have to choose to take that leap of faith. And that's when the blessings are going to come. And so there is this energy of taking that leap of faith, right? When I think of come to the edge, I think of jumping. It's the energy of trusting in the fall, right? And first we have to fall, and then we can rise like the phoenix. And so this is definitely still the lingering residual energy connected to that new moon solar eclipse in Virgo at 29 degrees. It is a 29 card. And then below that, we get the unfinished symphony. And so there is an unfinished cycle here. There is a need to maybe, when I see all of the notes, it's like the soul song frequency, the soul resonance frequency. There is a masculine here, I feel, that needs to go back. They need to go back. They need to look at what they walked away from. I feel there is a need for them to really do the inner work to gain that peace. And then below that, we get the Imagine card, and so the Judgment card. And so I think they are imagining leaving an old cycle behind. I think they are very much struggling to gain a sense of emotional peace in their life. And the guides, the universe, the angels, they are encouraging this masculine to take action, to stop overthinking something and to find the masculine drive to go forward. There is this energy that they are holding on to and maybe even holding back. But I do feel they are encouraged to find their emotional strength, their emotional determination to go towards the new cycle, because that To the Sea card is reminding me of the Chariot card here. And that was the last card out when it comes to this 9-card spread. And so we could be talking about a masculine with prominent Leo energy and Cancer energy in their chart. But let's grab the book and let's dig deeper into this Breathe card that came out, because it's been coming out so much lately, so much. And so the Breathe card is speaking of patience, waiting, going slowly, wellness, meditation, and trust. And so there's a masculine here that might want to speed ahead. And so we do have Mars now in Scorpio, and Mars is the drive to go ahead quickly, but Mars in a water sign is kind of this energy of a conundrum, right? Because Mars in a water sign is actually slow and methodical, and so patience in all things is what's called for right now, I feel. And so I do feel there's this feeling of wanting to rush, wanting to go forward, but the universe is like, nope, you got to slow down. You have to stay the course. You have to meditate. You have to breathe. You have to look at a repeating cycle here. And so we cannot exist without taking a step back and breathing in and drawing breath. And so now is the time, I feel, to really allow the replenishment of these energies, right? And so there is a release of darkness is what this feels like. There is a release of darkness. There is a masculine here, I feel, in a state of inertia, laziness possibly even, or apathy. I do feel apathy. And so something here has come to a dead stop, or is decaying, or is lifeless in this masculine's world, and they're getting a wake-up call is what this feels like. I think they need to shake something off. I'm hearing that Taylor Swift song, Shake It Off. But I feel they want to hurry. They want to hurry. Their heart is opening and they want to hurry. But their heart needs time to heal still, I feel, after an ending. And so waiting is going to be a little bit difficult, I think, for this masculine that is in this reversed archetype energy. And so I think they've worked really long and hard on something here, but there is a need to pay off some karmic debt in a meaningful way. And so the first card out with the tarot was this Palace of Cups. This is like the Ace of Cups on steroids. And so this is the heart activation. There is a need to heal the heart, but there is karmic rebalancing, karmic justice happening here in these energies today. There's that Libra energy. And so we just walked through the Libra equinox portal, and we do have the opposition with the sun energy in Libra. And this is bringing to light a false foundation. And so we could have a masculine here losing it all. Everything that they've built up is crumbling down because it was built on a false foundation. Because below that 10 of coins in reversed, we do have the Palace of Coins in reversed. And so this tells me they're losing everything. Everything in the material world that was built on manipulation, that was built on lies, that was built on false pretenses, because we did get the Magician card out. And so I do like that the Magician card came out upright in today's reading. This is connected to Mercury energy. And then we got the High Priestess as the central energy. This screams downloads for me. So there is information being downloaded in the collective, and this is through signs, synchronicities, intuition. But there is the leaving behind of an old cycle because it was no longer sustainable. And so this is like losing everything and starting with that clean slate, starting from a clean slate with the Page of Coins. And so there's a masculine here that has to start over, possibly with nothing. They could be leaving an old karmic relationship cycle behind and walking away from everything that they built. They could be walking away with just the clothes on their back, or, you know, a car full of things. But this is starting over from ground zero. And I do feel this is a struggle. This is a karmic lesson for this masculine in particular, to not hold so much value through things. And so there is a struggle here. I feel karmic energy with the Saturn. We do have Saturn retrograde now in Pisces. This is about spiritual discipline. And so somebody here, I feel, has been struggling between their head and their heart and doing what's right. This is somebody that feels like they are at war with their emotions. And when I said war energy, I noticed 9/11 on the timer. That is a massive twin flame synchronicity. And so I feel there very well could be a Cancer here. We have Virgo, we have Pisces, we have Gemini, we have Libra, we have Earth energy. But I feel there is this overwhelming sense of emotions driving somebody forward. And on the bottom of the deck, it's a telltale sign of, I feel, fear. I feel somebody here fears facing somebody that maybe they hurt, somebody that maybe has blocked communication with them, with this Queen of Swords in reverse. But we did get on the bottom of the deck the Three of Coins upright to the Hermit card, more Virgo, Capricorn energy. The Two of Wands in reverse, that's that Aries archetype energy. And then we've got this pile of swords here. We get the Nine of Swords reversed. We get the Eight of Swords upright to the Queen of Swords reversed. So interesting, this Queen of Swords, she's kind of holding that Ace of Swords. It's the sword of truth. It's the sword that severs. And so there's overwhelming fear about bringing forward authentic communication for fear of somebody not listening to them, cutting them off, or basically maybe slamming the door in their face. But I do feel there's a need to heal a past heartbreak here. There's a need to heal a past betrayal, and it's going to require a confession. It's going to require putting everything out there on the table if this masculine wants to have a reconciliation with their divine feminine, with their empress. And so there is going to be an opportunity to heal. But like I said, it's going to require honesty, and it's going to require stripping away the illusions, because twin flame is no fantasy. It really is not. And it is no walk in the park. And so I do feel there is an opportunity to heal, but it's going to require bringing forward some truth that has been avoided, that has been denied, that has been slept on. And this is a heart-centered truth. So I do feel there is a masculine here deeply wounded. There is a need for this masculine to walk away, I'm going to say, from a karmic cycle. And I feel this is about stripping away all of the illusions, stepping into authenticity. And so we're going to just talk about the advice cards, I guess, that come out. And I did use the Crystal Stone deck today. And so the two cards that did come out was Apophyllite and Lapis Lazuli. And so this is about channeling. This is about praying. This is about meditating. And so there is somebody here, I feel, that has placed a feminine up on a pedestal, and there's transcendence here. I feel there's a masculine clearing the path of cynicism, skepticism, and logic in order to fully step onto the spiritual path. And so there is a masculine that I think feels like his life is like a moving target. And they are skeptical about their true purpose on earth. They are skeptical about coming forward and offering communication, saying, I want to work on this. There could be a feminine that has blocked communication on all avenues and has been doing the work by herself. There is a masculine deep in thoughts here about where he has dishonored his innermost self. And what I love about Lapis Lazuli, it does speak about ascending on the rightful throne. And so there's a twin flame connection here connected to ancient Egypt. King Tut is coming through, or even connected to the Old Testament. There could be a high priest or a high priestess from Israel coming through. And this is connected to the golden age of Aquarius. And so I feel a past life connected to Lyra coming through. I also feel there's a masculine here that is getting ready to suit up in his spiritual armor and to walk forward towards a feminine on bended knee, asking for forgiveness and possibly even asking for a hand in commitment. But there is a need to get his mind straight. It's like there's a masculine that's got his mind all jumbled up, and his mind really has gotten to him. And so with the bottom card being Jet, there is a need for the masculine to claim back his space, to ground in this energy into the earth. I feel he's really been drifting, and I think that's connected to that, to the Sea card. And so there is a clearing of the physical space for this masculine, definitely a clearing of the physical space, of the physical reality of some type of material comfort here. And I do feel there's a very toxic energy surrounding this masculine, whether it's a toxic spiritual energy or an actual person. And these tensions are causing the masculine to peace out. I feel this masculine is piecing out of a toxic situation, and he might need to go towards a feminine to ask for some type of guidance, but he is being guided to come to the edge. And I feel this energy of the serpentine, the snake energy. So there could be a Kundalini activation. And the Jet card does speak of Moldavite. And if you have ever worked with the crystal Moldavite, you know Moldavite clears the path. Moldavite is a crystal that will clear everything that is blocking your path, and it will do it with a vengeance. And so I think Triggers are on the list today, are on the guest list today. And these triggers are upsetting a masculine, and he is getting ready to claim back his space. And that is what I have. And so if you would like to go further with me with a personal reading, check out the links below. I am getting ready to launch a new membership program on my webpage. And this membership is going to be all about taking astrology and applying it to our day-to-day life. So if you are curious to master astrology with me, then stay tuned. Keep an eye out for the announcement, because that is getting ready to launch. But until then, hit that subscribe button, check out the webpage link below, and I will see you all again tomorrow.